Hello, hello, hello. We're back again. Are you ready for some more? So, in the previous lesson we looked at describing trends and the vocabulary that you need to know to be able to write those sentences. Okay. Today I'm going to give you extra information about variables and time, which we can add to the previous structures in the previous lesson to create more complete, logical and more informatical sentences. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We're going to look at the particular variables that are found in an IELTS question. We're going to look at how these variables are expressed, so simple structures for telling us in the sentences what these variables are. Later we'll look very briefly at some common expressions for times, specific times and periods of time. And we'll put all of this together, combined with the information in the previous lesson, to describe a graph that I've got for you, and describing the trends in that graph at particular periods of time, okay, for the different variables. And then we'll look at some common errors in sentence construction, okay, the typical errors that IELTS students make repeatedly, which you will want to iron out before you start looking at describing the actual graphs and writing the essay. So if we can get rid of these mistakes now, then it's going to be much easier for you to get higher marks in your IELTS later. Okay, good. So, what typical variables are found at IELTS? Two things we normally describe at IELTS would be information related to people or abstract concepts. So for people, we could be describing information related to population, okay, number of people doing something. For example, activity as well, so what kind of things they do. Ownership of things, so what kind of things they own. Could be a car, houses, blah blah blah. Opinions, so what do they believe, what do they think. Reasons and choices for doing certain things. Okay. In abstract concepts, you might be talking about sales, so how many of a certain product a company sells in a year. On the other side of the business relationship, it's how many of a particular product people buy or people eat in a year. Could be talking about time, okay, the length of time it takes to do something. Travel, for example. Could be weather trends, so how much rainfall is there in a particular area per month. Transport and travel. Okay, so a lot of these ideas are to do with demographics, generally what people do, or anything related to what people do. Sometimes abstract concepts as well. We're going to look at people first and then later abstract concepts. But first of all, how are these variables expressed in writing? We talk about number, we talk about amounts, we talk about percentages, proportions and fractions, rates and figures. Okay, these general expression of variables in this form at IELTS. First of all, we're going to look at the demographic side of it, so talking about people first, with number, percentages, proportions, fractions, rates and figures, and how we can actually put the expression of these variables into sentences. Okay? So, first of all, number. We use this simple expression, the number of. We can have the number of in a sentence with this structure. There was a adjective, noun, in, important preposition, the number of, and then the variable. Or we can move the structure around a little bit and use some verbs and adverbs, the number of plus the variable, verb and adverb. So let's look at some sentences for the first structure, the adjective noun structure. A population trend could be expressed as follows. There was a dramatic rise in, remember that, the number of, our expression, people living in the city. For activity, we could have, there was a sudden drop in the number of people who went to the gym. So in this country, people are getting less and less fit because they don't go to the gym anymore. What do?